Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 21/10/2022. So let's quickly get into the articles. Truss announces exit. UK to get its third PM in 3 months. Says there was a guy by name Boris Johnson. Due to some corruption issues, he was removed, and a Truss was made the Prime Minister. But she was asked to reduce taxes and focus on the growth. But any country, if it focuses on the growth, it would definitely lead to problem to the common man. Why inflation is increasing on one hand? So you know that when inflation is increasing at a very high pace, you cannot cut taxes. You cannot focus on growth because that would lead to more inflation. So she is telling, I am unable to perform mainly because, the inflation is very high. And guys, multiple times I have dealt with articles telling you, when we talk about inflation, growth will be compromised. When we talk about growth, inflation will be compromised. So today, inflation is there everywhere in the world, and when common people are not able to pay their bills, and if taxes of rich people are reduced, it itself shows that the fundamentals were wrong. So that's why there was some pressure within the country and she has to leave. Competition panel imposes 1,338 crore penalty on Google. See, because Google has an agreement with Android which says that if there is any Android phone, it is mandatory that in that Android phone, Google Chrome, YouTube, Google Maps, these must be incorporated. Now, this will give unfair advantage to Google compared to any other software sector. And why Google is doing it? So that they can increase their market value. So, Competition Commission of India has said this is wrong. Google is arguing Apple also does the same. So Competition Commission has told that Apple is an integrated platform where their focus is only on ensuring the quality, whereas Google focus is to increase the number of users so that they get benefited. This is wrong. So this is what the Competition Commission of India has told us. Bringing African cheetahs to India, an ill-advised move. We also have Punit Rajkumar sir to be conferred Karnataka Ratna. Guys, talking about African cheetahs, you know that recently India released African cheetahs into Kuno. Now there is an article which has come out which is saying that what government did was wrong because government said that in Africa cheetahs do not have much food. See guys, every animal to get its food, it should have minimum number of other animals around its locality. So let us say cheetah, if it has some 100 animals of different animals in its locality, then what is going to happen? Cheetah can hunt them and eat it. But in this particular case, in Africa, there were more cheetahs, but number of animals available for food for less. Like tiger, when we want to increase, one of the biggest challenge for us is, okay, I will increase tiger population, but we do not have so much forest so that we can have tigers. Same way, there was shortage of land or forest in Namibia, so it was brought to India. But the article says that it is scientifically wrong to bring so many cheetahs into Kuno. The reason being, the Kuno area is not enough. It is very, very less or very small. And this may make the cheetahs come out of the forest and attack the people as well. Because this is what we call as ecosystem level management, where you must be aware, if we are bringing an organism, what is the overall impact of that organism on the entire community at large. That must be clear, guys, always. So now, see guys, it's a very important article. Recently what happened, the 11th volume of official language committee was submitted to the president, and in that it is said that Hindi must be a medium of language in IITs, IIMs, central universities, and even in any recruitments. And they are not telling Hindi should be, but they are telling Hindi should replace English. And Hindi should be only the medium of language. This will make entire North India, South India problem, because most of the South Indians are not comfortable speaking in Hindi. Even writing exams and all are very difficult. So it would be very, very difficult for them to understand the concepts accurately. So this will make all India services and all only for Hindi people, not for others. A similar problem occurred in 1960s, during which all the states protested and ensured that central government will not insist state governments to go for Hindi language. But now this committee is trying to recommend that Hindi must be the only medium. We can think, sir, it's a recommendation, let it do. But the problem the article says is, if a committee recommends anything, it is important for the president to implement it. So president may have to implement it immediately, or at least some part of it, which might lead to problem across the country. And the article also says English must continue, Hindi can come up. When you see how did India got united during independence struggle, it was through English, and it was a main medium of channel between North India and South India. So that's where this article is trying to say that it's extremely important for India to consider Hindi along with English, but not only Hindi. Next, guys, yesterday we read an article where China actually blocked the terrorist groups which India had actually proposed, correct? Now, this article is trying to argue, see, this keeps on happening, so what you should do? You should stop sending the names to UN because you know China will block, or send it to UN and let China block and let the world understand that China is doing wrong. Or third thing, talk to China, convince China, and then introduce the names so that the terror listing can happen. And they say the third is the best option. Addressing North India's burning issue sustainably. Guys, every year we listen to stubble burning. The article is interesting because it tries to tell us how exactly the stubble burning actually started. See, guys, Green Revolution led to growing of wheat excessively in Punjab Haryana region. Now the other season which they had to grow crops were monsoon season, right? And earlier, even during monsoon season, the people were using groundwater effectively. But Punjab Haryana government told that you must not go for groundwater usage. You should rely on monsoon rains. So farmers wait for monsoon rains, and in Punjab Haryana region, right, they reach late. Monsoon reaches late but withdraws fast. So they get very less time to grow the crop. So they cut, and the waste that is there, normally people put out so that it decomposes, and after few days they will grow the crop. But now the shift from one crop to another crop is taking very less time. And during this particular period, the only option for them is to burn. So what farmers are doing, they're burning out. What central government is telling, we read about pelletization, that is converting them into smaller pellets and all. These were normally done by whom? Central government. But the article says what must be done is not this, but the focus must be mostly on replacing paddy. We should not focus on paddy fields. We should say paddy is not required. Go with some other crops which do not require so much water. At the same time, it is sustainable. But for this, farmers must be convinced by the government. Why will a farmer agree to grow millets instead of rice? And the other political parties will try to create havoc, which will lead to a lot of trouble again with the government. See, guys, this is what happens. Now, why will any central government will bring any policy which will affect agriculture in India? Because they know that whatever agricultural policy they bring, people will oppose and create lot of trouble. Moreover, saying not to grow paddy in Punjab, Haryana is not fair enough because they feed millions of population. Anyways, you write this point, guys. Uh, like recently you wrote about pelletization and all. There or outside, anywhere is fine. You can write stubble burning issue. Stubble burning issue. Hyphen. Stubble burning. Stubble burning became a serious concern. Became a serious concern due to Green Revolution in India. Due to Green Revolution in India. After Green Revolution and HYV seeds, after Green Revolution and HYV seeds, India got food security. In Punjab and Haryana region, rice cultivation was also taken up. Rice cultivation was also taken up during during monsoon season. This led to this led to excessive use of groundwater. This led to excessive use of groundwater. As groundwater was excessively used, depletion increased. Depletion increased, forcing state governments to help farmers depend on monsoon rainfall. To help farmers depend on monsoon rainfall. This made farmers to depend solely on monsoon rainfall, and Punjab Haryana receive monsoon at the end, and withdrawal will be first, leading to less harvesting period. Leading to less harvesting period. All these have made all these have made the farmers to clear the field quickly so that they can grow next crop. Full stop. To reduce the burning, government is planning for pelletization, Pelletization, but it is important to change the crop. Yeah. So guys, the next op-ed was given by some other people, not required. Congress used tribal people for votes, not required. Committed to press freedom, US says on Mattu's back. Remarks by journalist, Congress slams. A new initiative in Chhattisgarh is helping prisoners get out of legal maze swiftly. BJP up. Yeah. Army's fourth round of emergency procurement to be from India. See guys, almost around 6 to 7,000 crore army is spending to ensure that they purchase it from the domestic industry itself. Remember guys, it is very important to have supplies domestically, especially during the war, because when war starts and we do not have enough equipments, our local industries can manufacture. For example, COVID, as we had pharmaceutical industries, they produced the vaccines and ensured that vaccine was available to so many people. If it used to come from outside, how much can you pressure to get it? So India, depending on indigenously made bullets and all are extremely important, is what it is trying to tell. IAF and HAL Russian Ram Leela treat not required, guys. Yeah, yes, this is very very important. Tourism to strengthen from Kashi to Rameshwaram. Central government is planning for a connectivity where, like, people who go to Kashi can also come to Chennai, Rameshwaram and Coimbatore, so that it is going to connect north and south. Normally people go from Kashi to Rameshwaram, but this is done by the central government. Now, Center ISRO moved 2-day conference on ancient science, not required, guys. Panel is looking into SC status to combat climate change. PM launches, I told you, lifestyle for environment. This we discussed yesterday. It is launched in Gujarat today. Truss promised, but she left. We will fight. Assertive diplomacy. China is trying to say that to protect our territory, we will try to keep on fighting, especially with respect to Taiwan issue and all this. 1962 war, like, China is trying to celebrate, but India doesn't consider this because of the deaths and other things that are caused. So, guys, these were some of the issues. Thank you, guys.